The Lagos Marathon is upon us. It will be coming up in the the first weekend in the month of February, and a lot of Nigerians will be participating in that one. Not just Nigerians, people from outside the shores of the country, people from America, people from Asia, and of course the rest of the world will be participating in the marathon. And right here in the country, we'll be seeing a lot of comedians, actors, musicians, all kinds of people participating in the Lagos Marathon. And of course, it is Plus Sport on Plus TV Africa. And I've got one man who will be participating in the marathon, and he has a whole lot of reasons for wanting to participate in it. Will I be joining them? I do not think so, because I don't think I am fit enough to participate, so I won't even blow my trumpet on that one. I've got a senior advocate of Nigeria right here on the show in the person of Osaro Eghobamien on the show. He will be telling us a whole lot about the Lagos Marathon and why he will be participating in that one. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, when my viewers get to see you, they would ask, why, you're older than I am, why am I not participating in the marathon, and why would you want to participate in it?
Well, thank you for that question. I think people have to understand that the marathon is 42 kilometers.
True.
And if you want to get a sense of that, it's almost like driving from Lagos to Shagamu. That gives you a full picture of the distance that's to be covered. Mm-hmm. The marathon actually tests your tenacity, endurance, and of course, your mental ability. What I'm trying to achieve, and a few of my colleagues, is to say, look, we're running for justice. And for us to make any effective change in the administration of justice, it's a marathon, not a sprint. In other words, there's going to be pain, there's going to be sacrifices. But most importantly, what are we, individuals practicing within the system, what are we doing to make that change happen? If we wait for the executive to effect that change, they'll do it in a way that perhaps we're not entirely happy with. But I think for too long, we've just left things lying low. So this is, for me, my own sacrifice to draw some sort of awareness into the need to start looking to areas of miscarriages of justice. There are a lot of things we're going to be doing as a result, but I think the marathon is a good way to symbolize what it takes. Now, what is more interesting about it is that I'm going to get my father, who is 83, to finish the marathon. I'm also going to be getting a father figure in Pastor Wigwe, who is the father of the MD of Access Bank, to both wait for me. They are good friends and they believe in the old tradition, the old values, which we would like to revive. They're going to be waiting for me at the finish line.
Oh, not like they're going to be a part of the marathon.
Well, I mean, my dad is 83, Pastor Wigwe is 84. They'll be finishing the marathon. I think my dad cracked a joke that where he's going is not that far. Maybe I want to assist him to finish it very quickly. But I mean, it symbolizes the fact that they've done the hard work. They've struggled. Have they seen the kind of change they would like to see? Now, my dad is a lawyer. Pastor Wigwe is not a lawyer. We're trying to create a collaboration because those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account when we're looking at reforms in the administration of justice. So it's symbolic. We have one lawyer, we have a non-lawyer, both understand the values that it takes to actually effect a justice delivery system that we all welcome. So they'll both be there finishing or welcoming me.
Wow, that's a good one. And last 2 years, I actually I covered the marathon, and I was opportunity to interview a cancer patient. Yeah. He was on his bicycle. He had his doctor and a trainer as well with him. And I tried talking to him and I asked him why he was participating in the marathon, and he said he was doing it because he had an NGO like opened for cancer patients and all that. But he couldn't talk for too long. His doctor wanted him to be on the move. Now, I was lucky to see him and get an interview from him. How would Nigerians get to see you and know exactly what you're doing? How would you be seen during the marathon?
Well, two things. I'm going to be inviting quite a lot of people to support me. At my age, I'm 52. Okay. So that in itself is creating a lot of excitement.
Sure.
In the evening of that day, I'm going to get a few people together to talk about the concept and hopefully set up a sort of NGO, as you call it. And what that NGO will be doing is basically to help with policy formulation, to bring about the change we want to see. You see, what has happened in the past, we left it to government. But I think there should be a collaboration between the private sector, lawyers practicing privately, to work with civil servants, and then to also work with those who consume the service, so that when we formulate policy, we see it through. So there's a consistency regardless of the government in power, so that we effectively take power back and we begin to see the sort of changes that we want. So that's the concept. After I've drawn awareness, I will call people together to support it. I support it by donating a resource, or by lecturing very young students or young lawyers, or simply by engaging in the discourse. I have friends abroad, I have lecturers abroad who have committed to come into Nigeria to actually provide lectures for free in areas that are quite remote. So areas to do with how you develop infrastructure through very sophisticated structures. So what this will do is to ultimately to set up a center which will be looking into reforms.
Okay, that will be after the marathon?
Correct.
Okay, and during the marathon, we have a lot of Nigerians, young talents that will be running in the race. You're obviously not doing this for the top prize. Because I'm sure you will not be able to beat half of the Nigerians there.
Except you don't want me to collapse for justice. I want to run for justice. I probably will do it in about 4 hours, 30 minutes. I am not in a competition in that sense. I will remain on my lane. The idea is to basically show what it takes by just finishing the race within a certain time. But that finishing is symbolic in itself. Remember that I said the baton is going to be passed from 2 elder statesmen. And the idea is to continuously say that the struggle continues, but we should ensure that that struggle remains within the private sector, so that it doesn't matter which government comes into power. So for me, it's more symbolic. But I think I must tell you, it's a very grueling task to run 42 kilometers.
Exactly, I was going to go there. Now, talking about you running 42 kilometers and you planning to run for about 4 hours, 20 minutes, how prepared are you? What are those things that you've done to put in place your preparedness for the marathon?
Well, I think the first preparedness is mental agility. I think I'm mentally prepared because I'm determined not to disappoint those who are coming to watch me, or those who are supporting this cause. That's the first thing. Physically, I also think I'm prepared because I've been doing a lot of exercise. It's been on my mind for a while. And I think spiritually, I have too many people. Nigeria is a very interesting place. Most people pray for me, but I say you need to do a little bit more than that. Prayer is fantastic. So I think the 3 most important things that one needs to do is mental ability, which is good. I'm mentally prepared. I've been reading a lot. Physical, I've been doing a lot of exercises, and I think I'm now at 100 press-ups.
Wow.
And then finally, you need the exercise of the mind, which is most important. And that is the spiritual aspect. And I think so in that sector of preparedness, I think I've done what is necessary. It's now for me to leave the rest to the 2nd of February.
Wow, the 2nd of February, a tough one. All right, there we have a couple of colleagues in the office who plan to participate in the marathon. They're married men, and obviously they're not even fit. They're not even close to looking fit at all for the marathon. Why I'm asking this question is, or why I'm talking about this, is the fact that I'd like to know, is there any special meal you are having? Is there any special routine apart from the training and all that? Is there anything you're eating to ensure that you don't go beyond or above your fitness level?
Yes, there's a program, and that program requires that my diet is very, very controlled, so that I go in with a particular weight. What it means is I've cut out beef for about 3-4 weeks. In fact, longer than that. I've also cut out a lot of fizzy drinks. The sacrifice is there's no alcohol. I enjoy my cold beer, but right now that is gone. And then in the evenings now, I've limited my diet considerably. I probably just take salad and a soup, so that every morning when I wake up, I am actually fit for business. And I would go in and practice 5-10 kilometers.
Wow.
I'm pleased to say that I've actually done the 42 kilometers only last Sunday. Now, again, you say something which is very interesting. Many Nigerians are going to join the marathon without being prepared.
Sure.
But that is reflective of Nigeria. Most things that require long-term planning are done by just simply engaging in the process without taking time to process what it takes, without time to prepare. So you find that if we have to build an infrastructure that is huge, like you have in China, we don't succeed at it because it takes a long time to plan. I remember Dubai, they were planning for a particular sports, and they started planning 10 years ahead of the time. That sort of thing doesn't happen in Nigeria. If you recall, we had the Vision 2020. I was in the subcommittee of Vision 2020. Now, Vision 2020 has not come to fruition, and that's in the next 2 years. I remember we had a Vision 2010. Interestingly, Vision 2020 was a reflection of 2010, but yet we didn't follow any through. In 2 years' time, we would have failed. So what this tells us, and with the marathon coming, and I want to give kudos to those who planned who brought the marathon here, because it also teaches us that for you to achieve anything that is significant and permanent, you need to plan, you need to prepare. That is one of our failings in Nigeria. So if you're not prepared, I don't think you should join the marathon.
Very true. And talking about preparedness and looking forward to the marathon as we go, let's relate the marathon to you being a senior advocate of Nigeria. Yes, we've had a couple of lawyers who are more believing in the title, but they're not living up to what they're supposed to represent. Tell us about you being S.A.N.
Well, I'm a senior advocate of Nigeria, and what that simply means is that I take precedence in courts. That's really what it means. And I should display exemplary conduct for the younger ones. So the reason why I've chosen sports to connect with my younger colleagues, because the millennium, they actually think slightly differently. They are less traditional, and they look for other things to excite them. And I think one particular area where we get excited is sports. But if you think about it very carefully, the legal and regulatory framework around sports is defective. So I have my younger colleagues watching DSTV and watching the Premier League, and they support the Premier League by ensuring that they subscribe to their DSTV. The question you'd ask as a nationalist is, what do you do supporting the local league? Again, so I'm using this to actually demonstrate what nationalism is about, and I'm connecting with my younger colleagues in the office. I'm finding out that they're far more excited, and I can say to them, I'm fitter than you. But I would like you to reflect the discipline, the tenacity in the administration of justice.
Wow, that's a good one right there, coming from Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Osaro Eghobamien. I had to get that right. And of Perchstone and Grace, I really do thank you for coming up on the show this day.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to the marathon. I would like to see you run, and if not for the top prize, I'd like to see you finish the race until you pass over to your dad as he crosses the finish line.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the finish line.
Yes, with my cameras.
Thank you.
And microphone.
Thank you.
All right, that's much you can take today on Plus Sport and Plus TV Africa. I'm Udoka Njoku. Do enjoy the rest of your day.